I'm going to ask you too, is this game personal for you? Obviously, you've played Georgia a few times now. Last time in Athens, really close game. Came down to the last play, in fact. How bad do you want to win between the edges this weekend?
I mean, you want to win every game that you go out there and play, but this one especially, not only because, they're our rival, but, SEC East, it's a divisional game, and, you want to start out 1-0. So, I mean, I guess you can say it's personal, but, I mean, as far as the last two games I've played, it doesn't really matter. It's a new year, and we got a new team, and, want to start off 1-0 in the division, in the conference.
Stephen, what made you decide to shave last week, and are you growing it back?
No, I'm not. Coach asked me to shave, and I talked with him and Coach Mangus as well, and a few other people, and they decided that'd be probably the best thing to do, and I didn't really have a problem with it.
And is your hair going to grow longer?
No, I'm just gonna keep it the way it is. Really.
Stephen, what did you learn about watching film, plus or minus about how you played Saturday night?
I think it was all right, a game. As far as I played, there's a few plays that we could have had back. But as far as, the game, we won, and that's really all that matters. Now we're not looking back towards last week. That was last week. It wasn't a conference game. It was a big game as far as the opening game of this year that, we have so much hype over, but, our focus is solely on Georgia right now, really. I haven't really thought about the game last week.
Stephen, Coach Spurrier praised you after the game Saturday, for shaving and for the way you conducted yourself, despite the disappointment of not starting. The fact that he didn't start you, did that catch your attention maybe a little more than some of the other punishments or other tactics that he's used to get your attention?
I mean, I don't think that was a punishment at all. As he stated, and as I said before, Connor played better than I did in the scrimmages in the preseason camp, and he said when he allowed me to come back, him and Mr. Hyman and Dr. Bastides, it's going to be an open competition, and I look forward to it, and he played better than me in the scrimmages that we had, so I didn't think it was a punishment, but he told me I'd get my opportunity in the second quarter and just wanted to go out there and make the most of it.
Stephen, 5 years ago, would you have ever imagined that your facial hair or your hair in general would be such an issue anywhere?
Not at all, but I'm not the boss, so you got to do what the boss asks you to do.
Stephen, what do you think about Uga, the Bulldog mascot that they have, and just the whole scene there at Georgia playing there?
I don't really pay too much attention to it, to be honest with you. But as far as playing there, I played there 2 years ago, and it was, pretty wild atmosphere. You got 90,000 people, booing you at every single thing that you do. But, hopefully this year we can play better and, come out there with a W and, hush the crowd.
Talking about that game a couple years ago, it was kind of a high-scoring game. You played pretty well. What do you remember from the way that game finished and the disappointment that knowing how close you guys were to knock them off Georgia and really kind of get this ball rolling a year earlier than it ended up happening?
We had our shots. I don't really recall every play that happened, 2 years ago, but, we had our shots, and unfortunately we didn't come out there with a win. There's a few plays that, you wish you could have back, but, that's in the past, and, this is a new year and a new team, like I said, and, we're just going to go out there with a completely different attitude, and I don't think it's going to be as high scoring as it was 2 years ago.
Stephen, the team definitely responded to you when you stepped on the field on Saturday. Is that something that you said when you came out, or was it simply your presence and your familiarity with the offense? What's that like for you to have the team kind of have a swagger when you come on the field?
I didn't really say anything, really. I guess it was just my presence. I really don't know, to be completely honest. I guess they are accustomed to me in the game situation, I guess you could say. I mean, I really don't know. I don't want to speak for any of the players, but, it was a good feeling to be out there with the guys, again, and, I think we gelled pretty well.
Stephen, could you talk a little bit about last year's Georgia game, the coming out party for Marcus, and your reaction just watching that? I'm sure you knew he was good, but were you saying, boy, he's better than I thought?
Yeah, I think everybody said that after that game. Coach Mangus pointed out last year, I forgot exactly how many tackles he broke that game, but it was it was quite a few, and he just kept feeding him the ball, and he just kept breaking tackle after tackle, and our defense played outstanding, and got that turnover down in the red zone, which was huge, and that played great, and we made plays when we needed to make them. So hopefully this year we can play a little better offensively as a unit.
Stephen, what was going on with the passing game on Saturday night? It seemed like, only 10 passes, and it seemed like the deep balls just weren't happening.
Yeah, we had some miscommunication really with the where the routes were supposed to be ran and stuff like that, and that first pass that Connor threw deep to JB, was definitely a pass interference. As far as I could see, but that was an unfortunate call. But we didn't really need to throw it that much, to be honest. Ladd had a good game running. I had a few good runs running the ball. We just didn't really need to throw that much.
How did practice go last night? And for you, is there sort of a sense of relief as compared to a week ago, where now you're definitely going to start Saturday's game and you're preparing to start and to play well, as opposed to not even knowing if you're going to play?
Well, he said before, or Coach Brager said before last week, he said we're definitely going to play both of them. So, you got to go into each practice knowing that you're going to play and prepare that way. This week, it's not really any different. Just knowing that I'm starting, it doesn't really make a difference. But, it's kind of the same as last week, to be honest.
Stephen, what is it about this game that it doesn't seem to ever really matter who's ranked higher, who has the most? It always seems like, I guess, pun intended, it's a dogfight every single time. It's always, what is it about this game that I guess makes it like that every single year?
Well, usually, I guess since I've been here, it's always the first conference game between us, and we got a lot of the year riding on the first game. Both talented teams, and we're just trying to get that first one under our belt, and get ready for the rest of the year.
How does Georgia's 3-4 defense compare to the 3-4 you faced last week in East Carolina?
Obviously they have some great athletes at Georgia. Not taking anything away from East Carolina, but Georgia, an SEC opponent. It's in their second year of doing it. East Carolina, this is their first year of running it, but Georgia's got a year under their belt of running it, and it's going to be we just got to watch a lot of film and get ready for what they're going to throw at us.
Corey.
Stephen, talk about the relationship with Connor. You're a seasoned veteran, been around, been through the ups and downs. What words of advice would you give a young quarterback like that, getting in the first quarter, didn't go the way he wanted, but some people said, how's he going to respond emotionally? What words of advice would you give him?
He's going to be fine. I've talked to him several times since the game, and he's going to be just fine. I told him not to worry about what everybody's saying if they're saying anything negative, because the kid's going to be a good quarterback. He is a good quarterback now. He's just got to get experience, and he's going to get plenty of it this year, I think, and he'll be ready to go next year for sure.
Stephen, obviously big things are expected from the team this year, but there are probably going to be some times where you fall behind by a touchdown, maybe double figures, 17 points even. What did last week do for you later on this year when the time comes and you're trailing? You got to figure out how to rally these troops back and how to get them back. Can you take that lesson last week and move it forward?
Well, hopefully that won't happen again, to be honest. But I think getting a win after falling down 17 points in the first quarter will definitely help us as far as mentally goes. You never want to fall back behind an opponent, and the way we did, was kind of rough. Had a rough start of the year, but I think we'll be just fine. It's just mental preparation and knowing that we have the potential to do what we did last week and score 56 points in 3 quarters. So I think we'll be just fine.
Stephen, with everything that you went through this season and even a couple of days before, how good was there any sense of gratification when you got in the end zone on that first drive in there? Just